Steamboat Institute has hosted dozens of debates on college campuses across America over the past 7 years with our Campus Liberty Tour.
I think what we're doing on the debt is dangerous. And maybe it'll turn out okay, but I think as a safety valve, my point is we should, in a very judicious way, bring that debt down so we're not so vulnerable in the future.
Right? So people trade in their non-interest-bearing dollars for this interest-bearing dollar called a U.S. government security, T-bills, notes, and bonds. We don't have to do that.
And that was the key element. Had exchanged, again, allegiance to the United States, had abandoned allegiance to the tribe, the foreign power.
The soil-based birthright, even for sojourners, was part of what was brought in.
It is very clearly at the center of why we had to deal with this terrorism problem to begin with, is this relationship. You know, Osama bin Laden, it's not just his letter to America that did go viral and got a kind of strange reaction from young leftists on TikTok. But in both his declarations of war against the United States of America, he laid it out very clearly.
But it really doesn't take a PhD in history to be able to discern this. I mean, go back and read about the Crusades. Look at the fact that the flag of Saudi Arabia, which is a U.S. ally to this day, they have a sword, a literal sword there, which is a reference to the fact that in the early days of Islam, there was a lot of conquering there. So this notion that America is only at war with radical Islam due to Israel, I think is just a complete fabrication. Tom?
There. And so having where your body and your internal determinant of what gender is are different is a reality. So
not everyone gets a medal. If you don't make weight in wrestling, you don't get to wrestle. If you're a high school baseball player, you don't get to play Little League. If you're a heavyweight boxer, you can't box in the welterweight division. So I just reject the idea that inclusion in sports is the goal. It's competitive. It is about merit at the end of the day.
There are national monuments that the BLM manages. There are wild and scenic river areas that the BLM manages, but most of the land that the BLM manages are what we call multiple use and sustained yield lands. And those lands are supposed to be used for grazing, for mining, for oil and gas, for archaeological resources.
We always made sure that people were doing things the right way, even when sometimes we had to shut them down, which is never a good thing to have to do, because the minute that happens, they're going to be calling somebody above you. But at the end of the day, if they were not following the stipulations, if they were not following the conditions of approval on the application for permit to drill, we would shut them down.